ladies and gentlemen, esteemed scholars and dear students. On behalf of President Shi Honglin of National Yangming Chiao University, I would like to express my greatest welcome for you to attend the ACS Institute 2023 Summer School, focusing on the theme of decolonization in the 21st century. First, I would like to express my gratitude to our International Center for Cultural Studies, ICCS, for holding these wonderful events. And this year's ACS Summer School, jointly organized by the ACCS, NYCU, and the Institute of Cultural and Social Studies at Western Sydney University, in partnership with the Calcutta Research Group from India and the Cultural Studies Department at Lin-Nan University in Hong Kong, promises to be an intellectually stimulating and transformative experience. And I commend the organizers, Professor Joyce Liu and Professor Brad Nelson, for bringing together a diverse array of distinguished scholars to lead us keynote speakers, including Professor Asamadar, Professor Metadra, Professor Nai, Professor Salih, and Professor Leah, and many others to facilitate workshops, roundtable discussion, and seminars. The overwhelming response to the international academic event is a testament to the importance of the theme and the significance of this gathering, with participants from 17 countries representing various backgrounds, academic disciplines, and perspectives. These events serve as a platform for a truly multicultural and interdisciplinary dialogue. The Association for Cultural Studies, ACS, has played a pioneering role in shaping the discourse of cultural studies globally. And the ACS Institute has been a key platform for fostering academic exchange for cross-cultural collaborations. I'm delighted that this year's event actually marks the first time the ACS Institute is being held in Asia, hosted by ICCS at NYCU in Taiwan. This not only signifies the growing importance of Asia in the field of cultural research, but also highlights our institution's commitment to bridging the gap between Asian and global cultural research networks. The theme, decolonization in the 21st century, couldn't be more timely and relevant. As we continue to fight against the legacy of colonialism, it is important for us as scholars and educators to critically examine the structures and systems that perpetuate inequality, discrimination, and marginalization. The ACS Institute 2023 provides a space for us to engage in thoughtful discussions to confront these issues and explore pathways toward transformative change. The distinguished speakers, each accomplished in their respective fields, will offer invaluable insights into diverse aspects of decolonization. Their contributions are sure to spark illuminating conversations and inspire all of us to reevaluate our approaches to addressing these challenges of the 21st century. As we dig into the depths of decolonization, we must recognize the complexities and sensitivities that involves in the endeavor and ensure that our academic work translates into meaningful actions and policy changes that promise social justice and equity. I'm particularly thrilled that the opening of this summer school coincides with the launch of the Transit Asia Research Network, which seeks to strengthen our center's promise to international collaborations. Through our joint efforts, we plan to promote the next 5-year plan, Conflict, Justice, and Deconvolution, Asia in Transformation in the 21st Century, and contribute to the ongoing quest for understanding and justice in the Asian region. I encourage all of you to actively engage in the academic journey, fostering a spirit of open inquiry, respectful dialogue, and collaboration. Let us seize this opportunity to forge new connections, challenge conventional wisdom, and collectively contribute to the discourse of decolonization of our rapidly changing world. Lastly, I would like to express my gratitude to the organizers and planning committee for their hard work and dedication in bringing together this remarkable gathering. Without their efforts, the event would not have been possible. Thank you, and I wish everyone a fruitful, intellectual, enriching experience at the ACS Institute Summer School here at NYCU. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Tsai. Now I'd like to invite Professor Yang Fan to give a few words. Thank you.
Good morning. 大家好, 大家好. It's really my pleasure to welcome all of you to the ACS Summer Institute 2023. I understand that the reason I am representing ACS board is not only because I am on the board representing North America and the French and English-speaking Caribbean, but also I am the only person on the board who has been to now 3 summer institutes. This is my 3rd one. And first time I was in Austria, Klagenfurt in 2013. And the second one was in South Africa. And now I'm super excited to be here when the institute is held here in Taiwan, first time in Asia. And to me personally, I'm also super excited because of the significance of the event being held in Taiwan. As someone who grew up in mainland China, with the influence of popular culture from Taiwan. Yesterday I just went to the retrospective of Edward Young at the Taipei City Art Museum, and I was also reminded of how vibrant a site of cultural production is, Taiwan is. And as someone who's worked on US-China entanglements, and I also wonder if this is the perfect timing in a way for us cultural studies scholars to gather here in this really unique place to think about the possibilities of decolonization. For me, cultural studies is always about breaking down boundaries. Boundaries of geography, methodology, disciplines between campus and community. And I just can't wait to dive in with all of you. And I want to say that this is really an event unlike any other because the kinds of intellectual conversation that would happen, the interactions among international scholars, the kind of intimacy that you will establish, the friendship that you cultivate, these are all the characteristics that made this event really unique. So I really embrace this opportunity and I hope to explore with all of you the possibilities of critique and the political possibilities that can happen in this event. So I thought I was going to maybe briefly say some of the things I said in Mandarin as well in the spirit of decolonization. 大家好，我是杨帆。我非常荣幸能够在这里代表ACS Board 来欢迎大家来到台湾这个非常特别的地方。我是在大陆长大，从小就对港台文化有受到了非常深入的影响。然后我昨天其实有去台北市立美术馆，看到了杨德昌的我最喜欢的导演之一，他的一个回顾展。然后我就被 提醒了，就能够想到，在台湾是一个就非常非常特别的，能够把一些就像文化研究这个领域一样，能够把很多边界打破的一个地方，包括一些我们视野的边界，包括我们文化研究方法的边界，还有各个学科的边界，还有学校与社区的边界，就能够打破的可能性。所以呢，我就非常的荣幸能够和大家在一起去探索怎样能夠我們去殖民化的這種可能性，所以非常感謝大家歡迎大家其實我都可以講廣東話嘅不過咧可能咧都係in the interest time I'm not going to say everything in Cantonese again. So thank you so much again and look forward to speaking with all of you later. Thank you. Bye.
So much, Professor Yang. Now we would like to invite Professor Joyce Liu to give a speech for us.
Welcome all. Here in person finally, after several months, okay, maybe even longer, contacting each one of you and communicating. And also welcome those who are online. Okay, I know you would like to be here, but cannot. But still, we share the same spirit. Here, this assembly, we have approximately 96 attendees, okay, from 17 different countries, including international scholars, invited scholars 48, 34 young scholars from across the world, and 14 scholars from Taiwan. So this meticulously curated program encompasses keynote speeches, of course, that we look forward to very much, but also seminars, roundtables, workshops, and project sharing. Our goal is to create a dynamic and intellectually invigorating environment for everyone. Okay, this is a multi-directional conversation and discussion. Okay, so we want to emphasize this problem of decolonization. That is something. This is a question for us to think. Okay, at ACS, our center, our core research agenda revolves around the interdisciplinary joint project from mostly from our university, but also cross-campus and international. Our focus is on conflict, justice, decolonizations. We all know that there are different forms of inequity, okay, different forms of conflict. And we need to adopt different modes, maybe creative, maybe more challenging practices of decolonization, maybe not only epistemologically, but also institutionally and juridically, okay, and curricular-wise, and through all ways, all forms. By colonization, we refer to a system of unequal power structure that pushes some group of people to the margins, depriving them from equal access to social space and resources, and leading to various forms of inequity. We've all been through that history. Maybe as the colonizers, maybe as the colonized. But decolonization began with the European expansion in the 15th century? No. Okay, did it end in the 20th century through the decolonization movement around the world? No, it still exists. And also it existed in human history from ancient times. Okay. So colonialism, that is the appropriation of land, the extraction of human labor and natural resources, and the accumulation of capital, started from ancient empires. It's not only limited to the inspiration from the European seafarers, okay, or East India Company or pirates, but also in Asian empires and beyond. So when we think, we want to think the problem in the 20th century, 21st century, Asia in the 21st century, of course it involves a global issue. So this dynamic, systemic social inequality and conflicts perpetuates through, as I said, juridical, institutional, ideological construct have become even more pervasive in the 21st century due to the changing geopolitical forces that we all see. We are witnessing its fast development, and also rapid technological advancement and adaptation of neoliberal laws. The law can be adapted and law can be sold and bought. And the intricate web of transnational production and labor supply chain. So those are the issues that you are all concerned, so that's why you are here. Okay. So we encourage scholars and students to engage in decolonization projects from diverse perspectives to address the challenges. Situated in Taiwan, of course, we are facing the threat every day, okay, for decades. A pivotal crossroad intersecting with East Asian countries, South Asian and South Asia. We do have students here from Southeast Asia, South Asia, from Africa, from Eastern Europe, of course also Central Europe, but also Northeast Asia and elsewhere. We want to serve as a platform for all students or all scholars to get inspired or encouraged and to investigate their local problems, their local social structures, local social oppressive and colonial structure that they might not be aware of. We all know that Asian countries or Southeast Asian countries are still very conservative in many ways, politically or intellectually. But there are activists, there are scholars, there are artists. They are trying to address these issues. So here we propose these 4 modules, right? You all know that. Global capitalism and technologies of governance, or digital governance, digital cyber surveillance, and so on, or marginalized populations, stateless persons, migrant laborers, and environmental justice and injustice, and social engagement and art intervention. I think that's your project, okay, every one of you. Through this event, we want to probe fundamental questions. How are prevailing colonial power structure and social classification hierarchies entrenched and accepted till today? What epistemological system and ideology underpin these inequalities? What institutions, educations, juridical rules consolidate this inequality? How have this unequal power structure evolved, contributing to societies of oppression and injustice, and accepted by the society and unaware of the fact that they are practicing it? Okay. So each one of you came all the way from afar with your distinct perspective and thought-provoking inquiries. We anticipate a very stimulating and also fertile gathering, and lay the groundwork for future research, collaboration, and future friendship, maybe for decades. Okay. And in our conclusion session, we have invited our module leaders including Brett Nelson, Sandra Masatra, and Scott Simon and Tammy Guo, to share with us their observations and reflections of this event. But we also want to invite all of you to share with us your thoughts in our concluding session. Furthermore, we will discuss with our TARM partners to explore avenues for potential future publications, either as a special journal issues or book volume, or we also are thinking of translation into Chinese, okay? So stay tuned for our forthcoming call for paper submission and a network launch. We're also happy to announce that 2 Swedish human rights activists, Heina Gottby and Benjamin Latra, who they're traveling around the world. They will share their experience about Western Sahara, Africa's last colony, during lunchtime today in room 103. So you're most welcome to discuss with them and learn from their experience. So this would be another form of solidarity and free association and free networking from below and from different corners. Finally, I want to thank the Association for Cultural Studies, the Ministry of Education, the National Council for Science and Technology in Taiwan, and also National Yangming Jiao Tong University for their very substantial support. And also special thanks and commendations are due to Dr. Huiyu Tang and Dr. Keren Chen. I hope they are here. Maybe they are outside, but you all have been contacted by them for every trivial details and questions and consultations. I feel very grateful. So those are 2 chief organizers, managers for this event, and also their team. They're all the student group. We have a lot of students, past student, current student, student from other campuses, from Inter-Asia Cultural Studies, okay. But also, of course, our ICCS staff. They are the backbone, okay. I want to thank every one of them. So I think I will stop here and invite Heather Horst, yeah, here. Director of Institute for Culture and Society from Western Sydney University, that we are building up our long-term collaboration, friendship already. So yeah, please.
Okay, thank you very, very much, Joyce, and really for the opportunity to be here today. I mean, I think, I've been learning about this conference for years through our colleague, Professor Brett Nielsen, and so it's really great to myself be able to join in. Really grateful for all of your work on the ground here. There's been so many emails. I know the conference originally, we changed dates. There were whole sorts of, range of things, but it's really great to be here. I'm grateful to the ICCS and the university for everything that you've been doing behind the scenes to really bring together this program and coordinating all of our schedules. And I think the program is incredibly impressive. You sort of see it go through and think, but when you actually look at the program, there's so much vision and clarity that's really been realized in it. So thank you very much for your close attention to detail. So as the current director of the Institute for Culture and Society, I just wanted to formally kind of convey our enthusiasm for the topic of the ACS Institute, Decolonization in the 21st Century. I think many of you would have known our founding director, distinguished Professor Ian Ang, and last year the Institute celebrated its 10th anniversary. I'm the third director in the mix, but Brett, I think, has been here since the very, very beginning. So the Institute, for those of you who don't know, it carries out interdisciplinary research into the continuities and transformations in culture and society. And we see this approach as being really reflexively engaged with the world, including developing a kind of deeper understanding of the conditions and limits of our own knowledge practices. And I think this is something that, where we really connected to the theme of decolonization. In the current configuration of the Institute, our work's been really focused on the multi-dimensional nature of the challenges, and we do these through a series of research programs, and I think over the course of the week you'll hear from colleagues that are working across the Automated Worlds research program. I think many of you will be familiar with Ned Rossiter, but also Adam Sargent is here. There's also work from our Environment and Technology research program, which I think Dennis Byrne is representing, as well as online on the very last day on the Borders and Diversity Research program. So we hope that, with so many of us here, that these presentations will really be an entry point into a broader conversation and set of collaborations. So on this note, I really want to say that we're really delighted to see the development and actualization of the Transit Asia Research Network and the opportunity for this new platform to bring together scholars, students, NGOs, artists, activists, and so on. I believe you'll be hearing from Brett Nielsen very soon, but we're enthusiastic about the possibilities for things like workshops, be they online or face-to-face, on topics of mutual interest, specialist use of journals, visiting fellowships, and exchanges that could be the basis for sharing new research findings. And I should mention that there are a number of colleagues who wanted to be here who couldn't join today. There are other things like creative outputs, like films and things like that, that are very much front and center of the work we do. So I look forward to the next few days and seeing what becomes possible through this dialogue. And thank you.
So now let's welcome Professor Brett Nielsen. Right, you our also local institute director, right? We organized this event from the very beginning. Also, this is a moment that we will announce our turn launching ceremony, and so this event is also the outcome of our Transit Asia Research Network. So I would like Brett to share with us how we start from the beginning, the rationale, the goal. Yeah, okay, please.
Okay, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, and again, I want to thank everyone here at National Yang Ming Chiao Tung University for the work that's gone on behind the scenes. The Transit Asia Research Network is what we are launching today, and this is a parallel kind of undertaking to this event, the ACS Institute on Decolonization in the 21st century. The conversations around the Transit Asia Research Network and the planning of this particular institute have been integrated from the beginning and have gone through, as we all know, several iterations throughout the pandemic that affected the world and prevented us all from getting together. We did have a number of events building out of a previous project, networking project at the Asian level, which was funded by the Center for Humanities Institutes and the Consortium for Humanities Institutes and Centers. That provided a kind of basis for the network partners that we have in this particular enterprise. What I thought I would do, rather than running through all the network partners, because I think it would take me 5 minutes to announce everyone who's involved, and you can read the names of the particular institutions and groups that are involved in the program, is to say something about the name Transit Asia Research Network, because it is a curious name, and you may be wondering what it means. And I think having been involved in its orchestration, I'm still wondering and have questions myself. So let me try and work through this briefly now as a way of setting out an agenda for what we will do. You know, of course, the network will involve many kinds of forms of academic exchange and relation, and Heather has just mentioned some of those: workshopping, mobility, cooperation around publication, organization of events, and so forth. But this name Transit Asia is curious because it implies, if you think about the notion of transit, transit is not ending up anywhere. Transit is always on the way to somewhere or some time else. So we start with this basic kind of proposition and provocation, and couple that with the, well, very complex, if we want to unpack it, concept of Asia, which is a region, an idea, a projection. We've all read the stories and reflections around the concept and the reality of Asia. So to put these two words together leads us to ask questions not only like, where is Asia going? Which would be the question of transition. We hear the echo of this word that gets transit, gets elongated into transition. So we're posing very much that question in the network. But we also hear the other echoes in this term. Certainly transit migration, which has been a name of a project that I know that some friends here have been involved in, is an important concept. Migrants who are not in a particular place as a destination, but moving through to go somewhere else that they may not know where it is. So what about if we think about Asia in this way? You know, we come out from very kind of firm, regional, institutional kinds of ways of thinking about a region, and we need to think about it in much more mobile and flexible terms. We need to think about the way in which a region is, like Asia, is more different from itself than it is from its others. And we need to think about those forms of passage and mobility at a time in which the geopolitical fissures of the world are strongly pronounced in this region. And that is a challenge we face in this network, how to keep up scholarly and intellectual collaboration across all sorts of new borders that are coming up in the world and in the region today. I will close just by remembering the coupling of these two concepts, transit and Asia, and I hope I've been able to unpack those a little bit for you to get you thinking about what some possibilities might be about in this network. And I look forward to future collaborations and future dialogues within this formation. In the spirit of transit, I will close by saying, let's see what happens. Thank you.
So Panai, no, not now. Tammy, would you like to say a few words? Tammy from Hanyang University, South Korea.
Can you hear me? you. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'd like to, my words include maybe a story of how I come to be here and to share this space with you. We each have taken very many different diverse routes to get here, and part of mine includes a story. Okay, part of mine includes the story of, as mentioned before by another participant, I was a participant of what is a precursor to an ACSI in South Korea. It took place in 2006. There were a lot of debates, as we know, about crossroads at the time. But a few things that stick with me. I was part of a cultural industry Media Matters module at the time. And my research project was, I was really interested in US Capitol on the move, and especially where we were seeing a plantation economy logic being perpetuated and moving across agriculture into new ICT and screen industries. And when we were tracking that movement through various US-led free trade agreements at the time, what we found is a real call and a need for new kinds of solidarities. And so when there was this convening in South Korea, as somebody who is in diaspora, engaged in cultural studies, I was so excited to be called into community, into this new form of solidarity. There are maybe different memories that people have of that, but also different narratives that we recall in regards to the cultural studies inheritances. But what I want to say that I remember are three things. One is, unlike a conference, I remember a lot of laughter. It was really a striking impression to me. The second thing that I recall is, or that I still carry with me, are these collegial relationships with folks from, at the time it was in my cluster, Taiwan, Thailand, Philippines, Hong Kong. And I'd like to say that we've stayed in really close touch and have facilitated a number of exchanges that have kind of led me here today. The third thing that I want to say is that there was a rigor around, at that time it was a debate about anticipation and anticipation of the impossible. And for myself, as a representative of the TAR network, I think that what I'm most excited about is, however you take those terms, is how do we prepare ourselves for what might be seemingly impossible. And in that spirit, I know I've encountered a few of you just even walking today to this site and this location. And for me, one of the things that I'm most looking forward to, maybe because I do come from this perspective of being a participant previously, is I'm looking forward to the participant-led sessions. And I think in those sessions, from my experience, I'm so excited to see what kinds of invitations are going to be articulated for future sharing. So thank you so much, everyone.
So could we invite all partner institute to come here, and our president would like to deliver a small gift for every one of us. Okay, yes. Yeah, John. Ready?
Professor Brett Nielsen. Professor Tung. And Professor Ryan Samada. And Professor Temiko Robinson. And Professor Ray Lagenbach. And Professor John Hunnick.
So let's first take a group vote together. Everyone got it? Yes.
This is to prove that we start. Okay, please stand up with you. 1, 2, 3.
So now we also would like to give our gift to Association for Cultural Studies and so here, let's take a photo together too. Yes. So now it's time for us to take a group photo, so everyone gather back home. So 我们是要